edition of Wings Weekly. Head coach Francis Anzalone along with me. Again, coach, and a big weekend. Another big weekend here at home with a sweep of the Magicians. Your team now 5 of 7 in the over the last 7 games, 5 wins and jumping up spots back up into 4th position, but securing a little bit more of a lead over the Magicians and the Brookings Brookings Blizzard, who both lost over the weekend. A lot of good things going. You could even maybe say the Wings are surging a bit right now. And Friday night, big win here at the Odie. Let's kind of break that one down. What were your thoughts of the game on Friday night?
I liked our start on Friday night. I thought we came out skating. We were physical. I thought we pushed the pace. I like how we scored that first goal. You and I have talked about it a ton. When you score that first goal, it just changes the attitude on the bench, the attitude within the building. There's a very much of a yes we can atmosphere surrounding the players. We stumbled a little bit in the second period. What happened in the second period is exactly what we discussed as a team going into the weekend. If you give the Magicians time and space, if you give them hope, if you give them life, and they're good, so they're going to earn some of it all on their own, they really capitalize on it. And we had a couple lulls in the second. What I liked is we came out in the third, we got the go-ahead goal, and then they tied it, and then we did not look back. I thought we played harder when we needed to. We answered the bell, and we picked up a real good win. We found a way to win a game that, I've said this before, I'm not sure 2 or 3 months ago we would have found a way to win that game. Stick-to-itiveness was, again, the key term. We stuck with it, and we picked up a big 2 points and found a way to start the weekend off on the right foot in front of a real good crowd.
Well, and Coach, you mentioned it, when you said that that might have been a game that maybe 2-3 months ago, maybe you wouldn't have been able to answer the bell. But it seems like that's becoming more and more of a trend for your Aberdeen Wings. They're able to bounce back after they're hit in the mouth. And, we saw that against Saturday night when the Magicians get up. And your team able to answer back. Certainly, it just almost seemed like they woke up a little bit after that first goal on Saturday night. And then, the second period, things just exploded. An exciting game on Saturday night as well. What were your thoughts there?
I liked our first 4.5 minutes on Saturday night. I thought we started the game really well in the first 4.5 minutes. And then I thought that they outplayed us a bit. Our goaltender was above and beyond our first star of the game, especially in the first period. Gavin Piscosa has been chomping at the bit to get in. He got in, he made a bold statement, he was real good. I thought the key to the second period, Jay, was we finished. We worked hard all night on Saturday. We worked hard all night on Friday. I have no issue with our work. I think there's been games, though, this season where our process has been better, but maybe we haven't scored. So it's nice that we're finding a way in games when maybe our process isn't the greatest, that we have found ways to finish and put pucks in the net and win games different ways. You and I have talked about this a bunch. It's a 60-game season. Not every game is going to be the same. You've got to find ways to win games. You got to win the high-scoring ones. You got to win the low-scoring ones. You got to block shots. You got to finish. You got to hit the net. You got to do all sorts of different things to win, and you need a lot of different people to get it done. And that's another thing maybe we can talk about. We've got some people stepping up to the plate to help the team. I'm not going to say unlikely people, but people that, hey, maybe their name hasn't been on the score sheet a bunch, and they're finding ways to chip away. Saturday was another one of those types of games, so good for us.
It certainly was, and Gavin with 38 saves, a heck of a performance for him, and then, of course, your Wings knock Ulrich out of the net, and they bring in Gerasimov, who hasn't seen a whole lot of work with the Magicians, but got tested again in the third with your Wings. Now, Coach, you talked about some of these players that kind of step up a little bit, and certainly on Friday night, Ethan Stewart had a big role. Tyler Bossert had a great weekend, and we can talk individually and so on, but how does it mean to a team when you do have these guys who are coming in and maybe you can even call it kind of a supporting role, but it ends up being really the fire that lights the team and really ends up carrying the day?
Well, I think it speaks to the second half. These are first-year players that have honed their craft and worked at their game every day. Let's take Stewart and Bossert as examples because they did get on the stat sheet and have found a way to help us win that way. I mean, if you look up low maintenance in the dictionary, you'll see Bossard's picture and Stewart's picture. They just go about their business and work every day. They never complain. Stewie's been playing really hard as of late. Life is all about opportunity, and guys like Bossard and Stewart have taken advantage of their opportunities lately. Bossard's been playing with Matt Pulver. He's really capitalized and excelled in that role. And Ethan Stewart, I mean, he closes practice every day. He's one of the last guys off the ice. He shoots pucks extra. He works extra in the weight room. He's a yes/no type of guy and just does what he's asked every day. And I was really, really happy for Gavin Piscosa, who stepped in on Saturday night and played a real good game. And it's not like we made it easy on him. We had some lulls mentally in that game on Saturday night. You and I have talked about this. When every guy is not going in defining moments of the game, you almost need an individual to step up and be bigger than the team. And I thought Piscosa did that in defining moments on Saturday night. Stole the show. Give our skaters credit, they recognized it and found a way to finish and bury their chances. So, good team wins this weekend. Maybe not so much a team win where everybody was going all of the time, but guys stepped up at key moments. No one bigger than Gavin Piscosa on Saturday, and great to see Stewart keep up the scoring at home, and great to see Bossard step up and have a 5-point weekend.
Yeah, I understand after a 5-point weekend, Tyler Bossard will be the NAHL's Star of the Week for the Central Division. So congratulations to Tyler, again, a big win. You know, one of the things I noticed too on both nights, that you have guys like Jackson Growlin or like Tyler Bossard that when you look at the sheet, that aren't the biggest guys out there, not in stature necessarily, but boy, they play hard and really sacrifice their body. I saw Tyler with a couple of big hits, and even Jackson, and I have to maybe laugh a little bit, but sometimes it kind of almost surprises me. I have to double check who it was that made a hit, but those guys are really laying it out there right now, and I think it shows, in the win column when you guys are, as I said, able to win 5 of your last 7 and 2 great home weekends, sweeping the Bruins, and then of course the Magicians here this Friday and Saturday. So lot to be happy about right now. I guess maybe a difficult question, but how do you keep it going? What are the keys to going up to Minot Tuesday and coming back with a win, and then going over to Minneapolis or Richfield and continuing to put notches in the win column?
Well, we just have to keep focusing on doing the things that have gotten us to this point. Playing as a team, playing fast, playing on our toes. I just think it's a more exciting brand. It's more fun when you're pursuing the puck and you're pressuring and you're finishing checks. We've been way more physical, I feel, in the second half than in the first half, just because we've been up on our toes. I know we're going to show some of the hits from the weekend right now. Carter Rue gets a huge hit coming out with 8 seconds left on a penalty kill. I mean, we're really rallying around playing physical and being up on our toes. And sometimes, Jay, it does lead to a rush the other way, but we make the effort to come back. So I would tell you, to give you somewhat of a definitive answer to a real good question, we just have to stay up on our toes and keep trying to dictate and keep trying to take away time and space. You're not going to win every night. We'd love to. I hope like heck we do. But if we can just keep playing hard and we can just keep playing fast, hopefully we'll continue to find ways to win. Like the games this weekend, they may not have always been our best process performances. But when you play fast and you play physical and you try to be up on your toes, even if it's a little messy, you can find a way to just keep pushing that puck forward. And you can find ways to win. It's better than sitting back. It's better than playing slow. It's better than playing too careful.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot said for that, certainly, and I think it showed in front of the home crowd both Friday and Saturday night. It's something we talked about. A lot of exciting moments where some guys got in on breakaways. There were a plethora of shots both nights, but certainly, as you said, some great hits, open ice hits too. I saw a lot of those, and again, I think it just goes to the fire that these guys are playing with right now, which is excellent to see. Tell you what, we're going to take a quick break and we'll return with more about what's upcoming for the Aberdeen Wings after we hear from these words from our sponsor.
Kraft is searching for America's most passionate hockey community. The winning community will get a chance to host an NHL preseason game, plus $150,000 in arena upgrades. your community score at crafthockeyville.com. Craft Hockeyville, for the love of hockey.
Let's make a taco. No, seriously. Start with a tortilla, soft tortilla. Warm it, kiss it. Don't kiss it. Chicken? How about tequila lime chicken? Now we're cooking. Slice this, peel that, snip those. Salsa? Verde. Cheese? Cotija. Oh, forgot to mention. Guac. That's better. See, anyone can make a taco, but we're not anyone. We're Qdoba, and these are knockout tacos. Qdoba Mexican Eats. Choose flavor.
Welcome back to Wings Weekly and the second portion of our show, and debating a little bit about the Zamboni. Maybe we gotta wait for them, but hey, we can get loud, right? Talk over the top of them, but as the Zamboni is finishing up on the ice behind us, we'll continue on.
That's one thing about us. It's a very authentic, it's a very real show.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't try too hard, right?
Yeah, there's no fake backdrop behind us or anything
No,
like
this
that.
is, you get what you get.
Well, and Coach, you know, one other thing before we move into this weekend, I wanted to ask you, you know, on the power play, there were a couple of a goal scored, and your guys' kill was strong again. When the guys are going back behind the net, and you hear the crowd going, "Come on, come on!" and I always think to myself, I mean, do they understand what's happening here? They're looking for the personnel change or whatever. Can you kind of walk us through that a little bit and maybe explain to some of the viewers what is going on at that time? Because I hear the crowd get kind of frustrated, like, well, why are they just sitting back? And that obviously isn't the case. There's more going on there.
So are you speaking on the breakout?
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's very, very simple. When our defenseman or our puck carrier sets up behind the net, he is simply waiting for his line mates to get back so we can come up organized together and with speed and have the puck and have an opportunity to make passes in play so we're coming up as one. And then if we're out of time or out of room or the penalty kill forecheck is doing its job, then we strategically rim it to try to recover it and set up usually on the other side of the rink. So it is by design. If you rush your breakout and come up unorganized, you may save 5 to 10 seconds because you quick up right away.
Yeah.
But what good is that if you don't have control or you can't strategically recover the puck and set up in their zone? So sometimes you got to take 5 or 10 seconds. You got to wait for everybody to get back so you can come up together and have a chance for greater offense a few seconds later. The other thing that happens sometimes is the defenseman will set up behind the net to allow time to make a line change.
Right.
He'll use the net as a screen. He'll use the net to his advantage. And again, we might let 10 to 15 seconds tick off, but at least we'll have everybody, at least we'll be organized, at least we'll be fresh, and we'll have an opportunity to hopefully get a better quality look when we get in the zone.
Well, I'm glad you took some time to break that down a little bit, because I mean, I again, just something I hear in the crowd, like frustration, like they don't understand what's going on. Why are they wasting time? The clock is ticking, and I think to myself, like you said, it's, you don't want to rush into battle with an unloaded weapon. You got to be ready to go when you go. So, just again, appreciate the kind of breaking that down a little bit, Coach. Quick turnaround. You go up to Minot tomorrow on Tuesday and face the Minotauros. Not a lot of time to prepare, but again, this is a team that you guys have seen on many occasions. And this late in the season, this the road trips and all the preparation and everything. It's nothing new at this point. But do you do anything different with just 2 days between games like this and a somewhat long road trip for a midweek game?
The preparation this week is all very much on the individual players themselves. For example, our day off yesterday, Sunday, rest, recovery, and nutrition. Same thing today, Monday. We had a very short practice, and then it's on the individual players to rest, to recover, to have good nutrition, to have good hydration, to have good rest. Rest is your greatest weapon at this time of the year. It's going to be very, very important this week that we have good energy, and to do that, we spend a little bit more time in practice watching video, talking. More time doing that, less time obviously on the ice. And let's be honest, a lot of things at this time of the year are set. We're still trying to get better every day, but we are pretty much the team that we are. A defensive concept like boxing out, for example. Like, I don't know how much better we're going to get at that at this stage of the year. Right. The guys know how to box out. We've worked on it a ton. Now it's up to us to make sure we do that tomorrow night in Minot. I didn't think we always did a great job of that on the weekend. So what we did on Monday is we talked a lot about it. We watched video on it versus spending 10 to 15 minutes in practice pushing each other out of the way with the game the next day.
Yeah.
See my point?
Absolutely.
It's a little bit more off the ice in the video room at this time of year, trying to have short practices so you have tons of energy in the game, especially when your game's on a Tuesday and you have another one on Friday. It's on the road and it's against a team that you have to play very, very hard against if you want to beat them. And we expect that game tomorrow night to be a war in every sense of the word.
So more mental kind of preparation versus physical this time of year with 11 games left.
I believe so.
Yeah, and keeping guys healthy and fresh, again, that's going to be key going down the stretch. Glad to see Rico Ratajcic back again, by the way, as he had some injury trouble, but back on the ice again this weekend. Coach, after Minot, of course, then you turn around and go back over to the Magicians, and we talked a little bit about the preparation and all of that. And again, by this time of the season, you know what these teams are bringing at you and what style of play that you have to, you're not going to see anything new. There's not going to be any new wrinkles really at this point. But let's talk a little bit about the momentum that right now that your Wings have had, and we kind of talked about how you keep winning. But is it how important is it, I guess, to keep their boy, here I'm stuttering and stammering. I can't even think of the word I'm looking for. But how do you continue to ride that momentum of these big wins and stuff, and if you go up and I don't want to borrow trouble and say you face a Minot team and you don't get the outcome that you want, whatever, you have to look big picture, because what I'm getting to after all my rambling is the standings, and it is the fact that the season is coming to an end. And do guys start to look at that and really pay attention, maybe a little more than they should, because every game down the stretch is going to be important. Every game is going to matter.
Well, here's what I would tell you, and that would be a great question for all of our players as individuals, but we've sort of taken a less is more approach to all this stuff that you just mentioned, and we have just talked and focused on the first 5 minutes of every game. Like, that's all I'm thinking about. I mean, I'm a long-term thinker. You have to be a planner as a coach. But as far as standings or Brookings or the Magicians or Austin or whatever you want, however you want to word it, we're just focused on the first 5 minutes of our game tomorrow night in Minot, North Dakota, because we know if we have a good first 5 minutes, we've set ourselves up for a good next 5. And now we're 10 minutes into the game. So we've just talked a lot about just short-term play, short-term preparation. Let's get the first goal. Let's get the first shift or 2 or 3 under our belt, and let's go from there. So we've kind of gone with the less is more approach. And I think the guys know what's at stake. The guys want to make the playoffs. It's like they want to play well at home. We have tried to spend a lot of time lately talking about the how. And you know what? That's been tested a lot this season. As recently as last Monday, Jay, I mean, I thought we played very well in Bismarck, especially on Saturday night. A 3-1 empty net goal loss. It was one of our best games of the year, in my opinion. But we got swept. We didn't get a point in Bismarck. And I believe we started last week in 5th or 6th. I think we were in 6th place at the start of last week. We could have come in here all depressed, all down, all mad at each other. And you know what? We probably wouldn't have done so hot last weekend against the Magicians. So it's all about just short-term goals, accomplish them or don't, and then reset and try to do it all 3 to 5% better. That's our philosophy in a nutshell. Has it worked? I mean, things have been going pretty good lately. I don't think we've been doing tons and tons differently, or I don't think we've tried to reinvent the wheel. We've just gone through the process, and in that process, we've just tried to keep the focus on the short term and the little things. I hope I didn't gargle that.
No, in fact, I was going to compliment a very good answer to a convoluted question. No, that'll pretty much wrap things up here for this Wings Weekly, but I do want to mention, again, Tyler Bostwick, congratulations to him, as he will be named the Central Division Star of the Week. I also want to congratulate the Aberdeen Lady Cougars varsity team on another state championship. So the JV girls last weekend with their state championship, and the varsity girls this weekend down in Mitchell coming away with their back-to-back state champions. So again, congratulations to all of them. Coach, I'll wish you the best of luck up in Minot on Tuesday, and you can hear that game on 94.1 The Rock and FastHockey.com. And then, of course, back in action on Friday and Saturday night in Richfield, Minnesota against the Magicians. So lots of hockey coming up. I want to thank you all for watching Wings Weekly, and we'll catch you again next week.